Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 4 college basketball games for Monday, January 22nd, 2024. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my college basketball Bank Shop best bet, you can find those in the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Monday in college hoops. First up, we see Wake Forest and North Carolina. This one's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on ESPN. Gotta say, don't love this Monday card in college basketball. There's 15 games on the board. I don't see a ton of value. I'll be treading lightly personally. It's why we only have 4 games on the breakdown. But in this matchup, national TV game, and one of the better games on the board, entertainment-wise, North Carolina is on an 8-game win streak, and they're 7-0 in conference play. Off to a great start this year, 15-3 overall. But Wake Forest also great season so far, 13-5 record, 5-2 in conference play. Sure they've lost 2 of their last, they're 2-2 in their last 4 games, but they're certainly on pace if they keep it up to make the NCAA tournament. This would be a huge resume boosting win. But I just don't love Wake Forest's chances in this game. Wake Forest scores a lot of their points from the 3-point line, and they're 11th best in the country in 3-point shooting. But the Tar Heels have a great perimeter defense, top 20 in the country, and it's a good defense in general. I do think, especially with the Tar Heels being at home, Wake Forest is going to be uncomfortable offensively and taking a lot of low percentage shots, really tough shots in this game. Now, Wake Forest at times has taken low percentage shots and made them at high percentage rates, and it's why they're off to a great start this year. But to expect them to do that consistently for 40 minutes in one of the toughest buildings in college basketball, I just can't get there. North Carolina playing great ball on both ends of the court right now, and we talk about their defense, but their offense is also top 15 adjusted offensive efficiency. They're not an amazing shooting team, but they get really good looks. They're a really good offensive rebounding team. They get to the free throw line. They take care of the ball, and I do think they'll be able to score against a pretty weak Wake Forest defense outside the top 50 in adjusted defensive efficiency. Don't really force too many turnovers. Not the best three-point defense. So I'm going to go with North Carolina in this one. I'm going to lay the points at home. Next up, we see New Orleans and Houston Christian. This one's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. Houston Christian's playing its best basketball of the season. It's won 2 of its last 3 games, and New Orleans has lost 2 straight. On the other side, the game for New Orleans against Nichols was competitive on the road, a 3-point game, 78-75. But the last game for New Orleans on Saturday against Northwestern State really concerned me. And you never want to overreact to one performance, but that was a home game, a 92-67 loss, and it really, that loss and what happened in that game brings up what New Orleans has really struggled with defensively this year, all year, and that's defending 2-point field goals. New Orleans has got a good 3-point defense, ranked 100th in the country, but the 2-point defense is ranked 358th. Teams are scoring a ton of points against New Orleans from 2-point range in the paint, and that's what Northwestern State did, because it's always concerning when you see a team scoring 92 points, yet they only shot 2 of 12 from 3, 16.7% from the perimeter. It shows you how dominant they were from 2-point range. Northwestern State was 32 of 49 from 2-point range, 65% in that ball game. For reference, overall this season, Northwestern State shooting 47.9% from 2. So really an amazing, one of their best shooting performances of the year, and 22 free throws to add on 31 attempts as well. I don't necessarily trust this New Orleans defense right now, especially in this matchup, because, while I said New Orleans got a good 3-point defense, Houston Christian's one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in college basketball. They basically abandoned the 3-point shot from their game this year. They're shooting less than 25% from 3, and they're scoring only 17.5% of their points from 3. Houston Christian relies so much on the 2-point field goal, number 1 in the country in terms of their distribution of points from 2-point range, 64%. They rely on it so much, and against a horrible 2-point defense, you got to think Houston Christian, a fast-paced team, should be able to score a lot of points in this game against New Orleans. But it's not that I trust Houston Christian's defense either. This is not a very good defensive team. They're at 289th in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency. The fastest defense in college basketball. They're very aggressive, but they don't necessarily force a lot of turnovers. Teams are scoring points on them pretty quickly. They're not a good defensive rebounding team, like I mentioned, and I think New Orleans will have a solid day offensively in this game. Also, New Orleans does a really good job of forcing turnovers, so while their defense is probably going to give up a lot of points from 2-point range, it also makes some plays, force some turnovers, get some fast break buckets on the other end. Houston Christian's one of the bottom 5 team in turnover percentage offensively, so I expect a lot of fast break points from both of these teams in this game, more so from New Orleans, and a lot of points in the paint from both of these teams, but mostly from Houston Christian. I like the over in this one between Houston Christian and New Orleans. Next up, we see Cincinnati and Kansas. This one's going to be a 9 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on ESPN. Now, I mentioned I like taking good teams coming off bad losses. Usually we can get really good prices with those teams. And Kansas coming off the upset loss to West Virginia. It's not a good loss at all, but, you come back home now, probably a fired-up effort for the Jayhawks, taking on Cincinnati, a team that's not playing great ball right now. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. They lost on Saturday to Oklahoma. They have one road win in conference play, but that was at BYU, another team that's new to the Big 12 this year. I don't think you can compare BYU. They have a great home court advantage, but I don't think it's anything like Allen Fieldhouse, especially with the Jayhawks coming off a loss. I think Kansas is the much better team on both ends of the court, and I think we see a bounce-back performance, and we're getting them at a decent price because of that loss to West Virginia. Give me the Jayhawks here. I'm going to lay the points. And the final game we're to talk about for the Monday card in college basketball, it's going to be Hofstra and Stony Brook. This one's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on CBS Sports Network. Kind of a strange start time for the game on Long Island, but this is a big rivalry between 2 Long Island schools, and it's nice to see them in the same conference nowadays, with Stony Brook moving from the America East to the Colonial. But in this matchup, I just think it's a really good matchup for Hofstra. Just what they look to do offensively, they're a very good three-point shooting team. This has been a great three-point shooting program the last decade or so, I would say, even with coaching changes. But in this matchup, Stony Brook is the 334th in three-point defense. They give up a lot of points from three-point range. Hofstra should be able to score quite a bit from the perimeter, but also they're a good 2-point field goal shooting team as well, and they're top 30 in free throw shooting. And I do think that Hofstra puts up a lot of points in this game, and the question is, can Stony Brook keep up offensively? They should have a nice home court advantage, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I just think for 40 minutes, Hofstra's offense is too much, and I also think the Hofstra defense is quite a bit undervalued or underrated right now. I think it's a decent defense, so I'm going to take Hofstra in this one, take them on the road. And that's it. Those are the games for Monday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.